So I was thinking about consistency and how many times being consistent has gotten me to a place or a point or a goal in life that I wanted to accomplish, that I was able to, because I stood consistent. So because I'm telling myself, if you want to become monetized on YouTube, it's literally the same concept, right? I have to stay consistent, not worrying about how long it takes me, or how many times I might start and stop, but remaining consistent, always getting one step closer to the goal. So in thinking about it, I'm like, all right, when else have you had to battle your mind to remain consistent? Like, think about it. So the first one that comes to mind is when I was in college. I was a young girl, of course. Really didn't have much guidance with regards to how to navigate through the semesters and what it would really take to graduate. But what I did know was that I wanted to graduate. Like, I didn't care about anything else besides the fact that I wanted to graduate, because I was going to be a first generation college grad. You know what I mean? Like, one of the first in my family to graduate college. And that was my goal. I set my eyes on it and I was like, you got to get it done. So a lot of things, though, happened between the time that I started to when I actually graduated. You know what I mean? With my mom moving away, my mom moving back. There were times when we was homeless, while I'm in college. I ended up getting pregnant with my firstborn, which was also a big push, believe it or not. But I finished, and it was not easy. Like, it was not easy, my final stretch in college. It was probably one of the hardest finish lines that I fought to make it to. But I did it because I remained consistent, right? So when I think about that, and I'm like, nah, that was so hard. Like, you were this close to saying F it all and not finishing, but you remain consistent. So, all right, I'm like, all right, true that, you know what I mean? Consistency did get me from point A to point B where I wanted to be. And I graduated like I set my mind to. So then I'm thinking, I'm like, what was another time? I'm sure there were numerous times. What was another big time where you remained consistent and accomplished the goal? So boom, couple years fast forward, I was like, I want to go and I want to get my real estate license. You know what I mean? I want to have that on the back burner, which I need to pay my dues. Anyways, you have to remain consistent. This time around, I was pregnant with my second daughter. Going to classes, I was extremely sick. I had a horrible morning sickness streak with her. Nighttime sickness. I was just always sick with her. But here again, I had this goal in my mind that I set my sights on, which was obtaining my real estate license. And I didn't care what it was going to take. I didn't care how tired I was. I said, you're going to get your real estate license. Sure enough, with consistency, I was able to get my real estate license. I didn't pass my test on the first time, but I didn't get discouraged. I went back, I studied again. I studied with my mom, I studied with my daughter, I studied with my husband. I actually think it took me maybe 2 or 3. Well, it's a 2-part test. So the first part, it took me 2 times. I passed it on my second time. And then it took me 3 times to pass the second part, the bigger test. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter how many times you had a test, because once you test and pass, none of that other shit matters. The moral of the story is that I remained consistent. So I'm telling myself here for this YouTube journey and this and that, wanting to be a content creator now so that I can be able to tie in the real estate and tie in my everyday life and, you know what I mean, and be a motivational speaker. Like, these are all little things that I'm setting my sights on. But I have not been as consistent as those other goals and journeys that I set out. So you guys know a couple videos back, I said I was going to be consistent. I was going to come up here and try my best to remain consistent, because that is the key. That is the key that's going to unlock all kinds of things in your life, is consistency. Whether it's consistency with obtaining discipline, whether it's consistency with your prayer life, whether it's consistency with fasting, whatever it is, whatever the goal may be, no matter how big or how small, it's going to take consistency. So I am telling myself, Natalie, remain consistent, girl. You can do it just like every other thing that you put your mind out to. You remain consistent and you accomplish the goal. So remain consistent, bitch.